Okay, so you ever have that experience, that perfect comeback, or maybe a brilliant idea?
Mm-hmm.
Right there, you can almost taste it, and then poof,
Gone completely.
vanished. Before you can even really say it, or even fully form the thought properly,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a vivid image that just flashes and disappears.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Well, today on the Deep Dive, we're plunging into a concept that tries to explain exactly that. It's called lost thought theory.
Hmm.
Our mission really is to explore why some thoughts seem to just evaporate
Mm.
almost before they fully emerge. It's like consciousness itself has some kind of silent filter.
Right. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how this theory challenges our basic understanding of how ideas even interact with our minds and maybe even the world around us.
How so?
Well, it's just thoughts aren't just things we simply have, but maybe they're more like entities that need some kind of permission
Permission.
or residence maybe to actually manifest in our conscious awareness. And
Yeah.
that's the key part. This isn't just about forgetting something you already knew.
Right. Not simple forgetfulness.
No, it's a much more intriguing idea than that.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So the core idea of this lost thought theory, based on what we've looked at, it suggests that not all thoughts that start forming actually make it through, right, to full consciousness.
Exactly. Some thoughts emerge, they integrate fine with reality, they become decisions or actions or ideas we remember and can, act on.
Standard stuff.
Standard stuff. But then there's this other category. And the theory proposes these are just eliminated instantly.
Eliminated. From where?
From the very fabric of our conscious reality. That's the claim. Often without us even really noticing they were ever there, beyond maybe a flicker.
Wow. Okay, so it's like they never even happened in a way we can access.
Pretty much. Never registered, in a sense.
So how do we even describe that feeling? The feeling of a lost thought. The sources mention these fleeting moments.
Yeah, like a mental blink, maybe? Or you know how a dream can just abruptly shift?
Wow.
Or that exact moment you reach for a pen to write something down, and it's just gone, vanished.
But is that really different from just, getting distracted for a second?
The theory argues it is, significantly. It's described as a thought held at the boundary of emergence.
Oh, okay. Boundaries of
Yeah.
emergence.
Yeah, like an idea forms in the preconscious mind right there at the edge, the threshold of our deliberate awareness.
So it's knocking at the door.
Exactly. It's right there at the door, but it never quite gets to step inside the room of our conscious thought. And the crucial difference is it's not just forgotten after existing consciously. It might never have had the chance to exist within our sort of accessible world of cause and effect at all.
That's a big difference.
Mm.
Okay. So to help us grasp this, because it is elusive, right?
Mm.
The theory uses some comparisons, some analogies.
It does, yeah. They try to help visualize it beyond just that oops, it's gone feeling. Well, one powerful one is like the universe having a kind of red light for certain thoughts.
A red light.
Yeah, the instant you think it flash, red light. And the thought is just silently pulled away. It never gets solid.
Oh, okay.
Another one, just as compelling, I think, is thinking of it like a word about to be spoken. But our reality, this world we're in, it just has no sound for that specific word.
So it's unutterable.
Exactly. Not because you forgot the word, but because the word itself is somehow incompatible with the moment, with reality.
Okay, that's quite a concept.
Huh.
Which leads to the big question, right? What's doing the filtering? What's hitting that red light button?
Right. Why are these thoughts getting lost? The theory offers a couple of main hypotheses, and they're pretty different.
Okay, what's the first one?
One idea is that it's internal. Our own brain might have some kind of built-in blocker, a sensor almost.
A sensor in our own head.
Yeah, like a self-consistency filter.
Yeah.
The brain just silently discards ideas it maybe deems unsafe or too weird, too contradictory to who we think we are.
Or maybe too upsetting. Emotionally volatile.
Possibly. Something that would destabilize things too much if it became fully conscious. So a very internal mechanism protecting us, perhaps.
Our own internal guardian. That's a profound thought in itself. Okay, but you said there were two main ideas. What's the other one? Does it go beyond just our individual minds?
It does, and this is where it gets, well, even more speculative, perhaps. The alternative hypothesis is fascinating. It suggests that the universe itself,
The universe.
or, reality, might have some kind of energetic field or some property that actively filters out certain concepts.
Filters them how?
Concepts that are incongruent with the current timeline. That's the phrasing used.
Whoa, okay. Like reality has a baseline frequency or something.
Sort of like that, yeah. And thoughts that vibrate too far outside that frequency, they just They aren't sustained. They can't take root.
So this isn't just internal psychology. This suggests an external force.
An external force subtly shaping our stream of consciousness itself. It really makes you wonder what kind of thoughts might fall into that category, doesn't it?
Yeah, like what? Ideas that break physics. Or
Maybe ideas that fundamentally contradict how things are right now? Or thoughts that could lead to paradoxes? We don't know, of course. It's theory.
so if you, listening right now, have ever found yourself grasping for that idea that was just there, that vivid image, that profound insight, the one that vanished the second you tried to grab hold of it,
Yeah.
well, consider this. According to lost thought theory, that might not just be a memory slip.
Right. It might not be a distraction. Instead, it could potentially be a thought that reality itself refused to accept.
Or that your own mind silently edited out for reasons we're only just starting to, well, theorize about.
Exactly.
So the core idea, wrapping this up, lost thought theory, suggests some thoughts get silently filtered, maybe by our brains, maybe by reality itself. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about all the countless ideas, the insights that maybe never quite landed in our conscious minds, things that could be shaping what we perceive, what we know, without us ever realizing it.
And, connecting this to the bigger picture, it does raise a really provocative question for you, the listener.
Which is,
What if our reality is constantly, silently curating our stream of consciousness? What does that actually imply? For free will, maybe? Or even just the fundamental nature of existence?
that's a heavy thought to end on.
It is.
So maybe pay a little more attention to those fleeting moments, those little flashes of almost thought at the edge of your mind. And just consider, could that be a lost thought? What does all this potentially mean for your own internal world and the ideas that you think define it?